Hey everybody, welcome back to the Calibrate Tools and DIY channel. How's everybody doing? Okay, come on in, say hi in the chat. Let's get this thing going. This is uh, the lives that I every Tuesday that come on every Tuesday, I should say. Okay, every Tuesday at 7 o'clock. We do these lives here that's dedicated to you, to getting you involved. It's a less informal way of communication between me and the audience. I love you guys to come in and share your thoughts. That's what keeps the live, right? That's what it's all about. Share your thoughts, share your opinions, whatever you have. You don't even have to agree with me on everything we say on this lives or I say. But as long as you're respectful and I'm respectful of you, then hey, why not, right? We don't have to agree on everything, but it's all about talking about what I feel is important, relevant to the nature of this channel, which is about you know tools, DIY, home improvement, trades, and most importantly, improving the lives of people, right? Improving the lives of people. In the background, you see a classroom, right? That's what this live is about. Students, okay? Students that want to change their lives by coming in and learning a new skill, right? A skill that can pay them much more than they're getting paid now. Some of them don't even have jobs. Some of them come from very, uh, I would say, for lack of a better word, um, not so good circumstances. Okay, but they come in here, they come in the class. I'm an instructor at a school, a welding school, and I teach welding. Um, they come in there with the desire and enthusiasm to learn a new skill, and I'm gonna tell you right now, it changes their lives. Right, those guys in the background right there. Um, yeah, it totally changes their lives for them to learn a new skill to be able to feed their family or just elevate their circumstances. Okay, and but there are certain skills that are not technical, that are not practical, that you have to learn, and this applies to anybody out there. You don't have to learn a trade or anything like that, but you got to have these skills no matter what arena you find yourself in. You have to have these particular skills that we're going to talk about tonight. Hey, Perry Good Life Notes, how you doing? Challenging, yeah, you got it. Challenging experiences, challenging circumstances that a lot of these students that come through the school, they come from the very challenging circumstances, and I got to give it to them. They made a choice to better their lives, and that's what we're all about here at Calibrate Tools as well. Calibrate Tools and DIY. So, guys, come on in. Say hi in the chat. Don't be scared. We love to communicate with each other here, to learn from each other. I don't know everything. You don't know everything. We all learn from each other on this, right? So I'm not here just to talk at you. I like the interaction there. All right. So come on in the chat, say hi. And if you don't, that's fine too. Just, listen along, and hopefully you can get some valuable nuggets out of the conversations we have on these lives. Okay. So yeah. Um, Once again, I teach at a welding school. It's a nonprofit. It's free, and like I said, we have all kinds of students coming on in there, and we try to take individuals that need work, but occasionally we bring in others as well that want to learn, right? Um, and I've seen many individuals transform their lives, right, just by learning a new skill. And but I want to talk about some of the other skills, like I said, that we all can learn from, and these are what I call intangible skills. Okay, that no matter if you own your own business, whether you work for somebody, well, you can these are transferable skills. You can transfer them to your relationships, whether it's friendships or uh, intimate relationships, whatever. What I'm talking about tonight applies to all of that. Okay, but as far as work, let's talk about that first. When these students come through the school, they learn a skill. They learn how to weld. They learn the basic um, welding processes so they can go out there and get a job. Okay, get a job, and or if they want to, I tell them, hey, look, you don't have to necessarily go look for a job. You can do that, but why not think more entrepreneurial, right? Why not start your own business? All it takes is just you can just go buy a welder from Home Depot or something like that, and hand out some flyers or go knocking on doors if you see a fence or something that needs to be repaired. If you have that kind of mindset, why not, right? So it's not just about looking for a job. And I do promote that as well on the channel a lot. Just learn to start your own thing. It's all about ownership. But whether you own your own thing or you do find a job or whatever, you have to apply certain principles that can make you successful regardless. Okay. One of those is being on time. Okay. So if you're a young person listening to these things are invaluable for you to succeed anywhere you go. Okay. Be on time, guys. We have a sign in the classroom that lists different principles that you should follow, and they're free, right? These things are free. You don't have to buy them. All you got to do is develop them. Okay. And they're in you already, right? So be on time. One of the things that can make you quote unquote unsuccessful in life is not to be on time, right? Not to be I would say faithful to your own time. Okay. You don't always have to be faithful to someone else's schedule, but your own schedule, if you have one for yourself. Okay. A lot of students come through and they're doing well, and all of a sudden they drop off the radar. They don't show up anymore, right? They could be a couple of days away from certification day or whatever, and they're gone. Something happened. They got into trouble. We got a lot of people coming out of the penal system, coming through the program, and they're showing up. They're doing well. Some of them are really good welders, and next thing you know, they're gone. They don't finish the program, and the program's not even that long. It's not even that long. It's about a month, right? It's about a month. I mean, if you can't be on time in a month for one whole month, then something's seriously wrong there. So I get it. You came out the penal system, and you may have probation or something like that going on, or you got to be back at some location at a certain time. But that's all the more reason that you should develop you should develop the skill of being on time. Yes, I said the skill of being on time, because you can lose your freedom, right? And that's exactly what happens to a lot of them. Or you just get caught up in some vice that you can't kick, some addiction, some habit that caused you to fall off the radar or lose focus, right? We all have something that takes us away from the goal, distracts us. But you got to get a handle on that. Got to get a handle on that, right? So there's so many things out there in the world that can steal our focus, and so we need to learn how to just grab ourselves by the reins and shake that stuff off, right? So yeah, being on time, being punctual, right? Yeah, you definitely got to focus on that. Okay, and I'm talking to the young people right now, and I guess anybody really, some older people, but especially young people that are thinking about getting into getting into school or getting some kind of program to teach them a new skill or something like that. These are things that they don't teach you in the books, right? You can't learn this stuff in books, but you can learn a whole bunch of other things in books that you think will make you successful, right? But these things right here, if you don't have them, I don't care how much book knowledge you have, you'll have a very hard time getting ahead in life. Number two, and I talked about this before in another video, but I like to reiterate these things because I think it's very important to get into the psyche, of my viewers or anybody that comes across this material. Work ethic, right? Can anybody come in chat and tell me what work ethic is? Very good life notes. What's work ethic? Well, work ethic is, to me, is the ability to just you have to achieve a goal, and you just you put your feelings aside. You put your feelings aside and you get to work. That's pretty much what it is. If you base your life on feelings, you're gonna have a rough ride. You're gonna have a rough ride, right? No, do you always feel like getting up and going to work or going to school or something like that, going to a job? No. Sometimes you may not even want to get up and go to your own business, right? If you have a workload that's a mile high, but you got to overcome that, right? It's not about feelings. You can't live your life based on If I feel like doing something, I don't feel like doing something, right? Not going to get anywhere like that, right? Work ethic. You got to develop a work ethic. You got to get out there and get it regardless of how you feel. Unless you're near death or something like that, um, I believe you have an obligation to come out to the world and provide, right? Not just for yourself, but for those you care about, and for the community at large. And you can't do that without a work ethic. And once again, that doesn't necessarily, that's not specific to a job. That's not specific to a business. That's just a universal law. You gotta, the more you put in, the more you get out, right? Energy in, energy out, input, output, right? So that's what work ethic is based on. It's not based on feelings. Um, you got to get out there and get it. It's pretty much, right? Yeah. Excellence in all that you do. Yes, Perigirl Life knows. You should strive for excellence in all that you do. Absolutely strive for excellence in all that you do, right? And and you say, okay, what is excellence? Excellence, it's not necessarily a destination. It's just an ideal, right? It's not that you reached a certain goal, but the fact that you keep striving, you keep improving. That's what it's all about. So absolutely, give 100% commitment to your task. Yes, 120%, 150%. Claudette McCoy. Hey, Claudette, how you doing? That's right. Claudette in the house. Determination to work hard. Absolutely. You have to have set in your mind that I'm going to do this no matter what. Okay. I'm going to do this no matter what. Right. And when you have that mentality, I guarantee you're going to accomplish more, more in your life. Right. If you're determined to win, and don't confuse winning with you competing with someone like, you got to beat this person or beat that. No, to win means to strive, to exceed, exceed the previous accomplishments, right? Exceed the previous accomplishments, um, and accomplish what you set out to do. Simple as that. It's a mindset, right? It's a mindset. Those students behind me sitting in those chairs, some of them get back there in the welding booth and they're like, they're struggling or whatever. But you can always tell the ones that that will succeed. They just don't give up, and they don't throw their hands up or nothing like that. They get in there and they keep. And if I see that they're going to do that, then I tell them, hey, listen, man, just sit back down and do this again, because it's funny, a lot of them, they'll run a well bead and it's not that good, and they just get up. They just put everything down and just get up. And I'm like, no, sit back down and do it again. I don't disrespect them. I talk to them rough like that. But I said, no, sit down and do it again, right? Because I know they can do it. Most of the time, all it takes is some minor tweaks, some minor adjustments to how, to what they're doing. And next thing you know, they're doing it. And once they see that they can do it, then it's a whole new game, right? It's a whole new game for them, right? So your ability to work hard, not give up until you achieve the goal. Okay? Let's see. So if you go out there into the world, the work world or the business world, you're going to have to deal with people. You can't escape people, man, if you want to make it out here, right? So you got to have what I call, or what they call, soft skills, right? Interpersonal skills, communication skills, right? The more you develop your communication skills, the better off you'll be, okay? And it's not a fake it to make it mentality. It's just the ability to observe your environment and say, okay, what adjustments can I make to survive in this environment? Not at the expense of your dignity, okay? Not at the expense of, people making jokes about you or whatever. Like, no, I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about the ability to be able to communicate with people with confidence, and that they can see your confidence, and, the ability to negotiate with people, to discuss things, problems that need to be solved together, the ability to be able to work in a team, as a team, right? These are all things that will help you, whether you have a job or on a job, or whether you're in a business, that will help you succeed, rather than trying to be the Lone Ranger out there, right? Being the Lone Ranger out there is it's not it's not that easy. You need people, you need a team. You can't do everything, right? Learning how to delegate, right? If you have a business, right? And all this stuff involves relationships. It involves communication skills, being able to treat people with respect, having empathy, right? Because everybody doesn't have, everybody's not having the best day, right? So you got to know how to communicate with people and understand where they're coming from and all that good stuff, right? Leadership is another one, right? Leadership starts with serving others. It's kind of a paradox, right? But the more you serve, the better leader that you're going to be. The more you serve, the better leader that you're going to be. So when these students come in the class and they have to learn how to work together, right? Because they're back there learning how to weld. They have to know how to share their time with other people, right? There have been instances where certain people didn't want to give up give up the weld booth to other people, right? And I'm like, okay, those times I have to jump in and say, listen, you have to let that person get a chance here, right? Um, so they have to give it up, and yeah, it's all those things that you need to work on in order to create a successful environment, right? Right, guys. So yeah, these are called interpersonal skills, communication skills, interrelational skills, and you can't learn them by reading a book. You can't learn them by reading a book. They're very important. Helps you to work well with others. It's all about teamwork, the ability to connect with the people around you, right, and receive feedback from them without getting offended. You know, if they come to you and say, "Listen, this is an issue," and especially if you're in a leadership position, don't take offense to it because some of that issue may involve you, right? And if you react a certain way, they may be afraid to tell you about it, and it creates an atmosphere that's it can end up being a very toxic atmosphere. People don't want to be around you. People don't want to, they don't want to work for you, or they don't put their best effort forward because of you. So sometimes we got to learn how to look in the mirror at ourselves and say, hey, what am I doing wrong here? Are there any improvements that I need to make? Are there any blind spots that that are there that I can't see? And usually it's other people that see them, but you can't see them. That's why it's called a blind spot. Okay. So yeah, um, a lot of these students they get out into the world, the real world with real people, and have to deal with real situations. And they if they develop these skills, they can move ahead real fast. Claudette says, I have always struggled with learning how to delegate. I've always been a one woman show. Yeah, I hear you, Claudette. I hear you on that. Yeah, let's dive a little more into that, right? Because a lot of times we can be very successful by ourselves, right? We can be very successful by ourselves, but you can only scale that so much, right? You can only scale that so much if you're a one woman or one man show, and you don't multiply yourself, then whatever you have going on can only stay in a limited area, and it's limited to the amount of time that you as that one person can afford, right? So if some people are fine with that and say, okay, I got a business, it's local, it's just me, and you know um, I don't care to grow anymore, this is fine, it's taking care of me. Well, great. That's all. If that's what you want, fine. But if you want to grow, then sometimes we got to let go of the reins and hand off certain tasks um, to other people. Right? That's pretty much what a business is. You're delegating tasks to other people while you focus on the main task. Whether that's business development, growth, going out there getting new clients, new customers, and then you have someone in the background doing all the, I don't want to say menial tasks, but the tasks that can be, someone else can do that will free you up to go ahead and expand your business, right? So yeah, if you desire to grow, then you have to get over, or we have to get over the fear of letting go of the reins and allowing someone else to go design that marketing material that you like to design yourself, or you know things like that, right? A lot of people struggle with that, Claudette. They struggle with letting go of the reins and allowing someone else to go take care of that. But at the end of the day, it has to be done because you're only one person, and you can only scale so much. Very good, Latinos. Delegation requires trusting the skill of a helper. Yes, absolutely. That's exactly what we're talking about. So, yeah, I mean, let's face it. This is life, right? You're gonna hand off the reins, and they're gonna mess it up. They're gonna mess it up, and then you're gonna be like, oh man, I should have did it myself. But that's a test, right? You're gonna say, okay, I don't like how they do it. I'm gonna do it myself. Well, that's fine. Like I said, that's fine. But if you're gonna stay should I say more localized. You're gonna stay more localized, and if you start a company or you talk to anybody who owns a big company with a lot of employees, they know the employees mess up, right? They have protocol for that. You allowed so many tries, or you got a probationary period, and to mess up, right? And if you keep messing up after that probationary period, then you're probably out of there. So maybe that's a solution, Claudette. You can try someone out for a certain amount of time and see how they work. And if you like what they work, then keep them on. I have a few people that I work with now, um, and I love what they do, right? And if I try someone out and they're not you know up to speed, then in today's world, all I have it's just a click, boom. I don't I don't work with them anymore, right? And those are like people I have never even met, right? I have doing work for me like over the internet, online, freelancers or whatever, and they do a good job. If I like their work, and I stick with them. Period. Because it's only me here. I can only do so much. I have that going on, class as an instructor going on. I have a lot of other things going on, and then I have this going on. So I had to delegate. It's not really an option for me, right? I have to delegate, and it can be a good thing if you understand that everybody's not going to work out, right? Everybody's not going to work out, just like you or me. I haven't worked out for every uh, job or whatever I've been on. Um, so so everybody's not going to work out. You just got but there is somebody out there that can do the job just like you want, or even better, exceed your expectations, right? So yeah, because at the end of the day, you want freedom, right? You enjoy what you do, but you also want the ability to step away and take a breather, right? Step away and take a breather. And if you're always in your business, right, then you can't do that, right? So yeah, Perigirl says, so you will need to design your system that will protect you and them. Interesting. Yes, Perigirl, you got to design a system that protects you and them. Yeah, that's yeah. You can elaborate on that more, Perigirl Life Notes. When you say design a system that will protect you and them, you're talking about some kind of protocol where if they mess up, kind of like what I mentioned earlier, maybe a probationary period you give them, right? 90 days or whatever, where they can make all the mistakes and work out all the kinks, right? Um, yeah, things like that. So it can be done, Claudette. Yeah, you don't have to struggle. There are ways to do it. There are ways to do it. Yeah. So, um, yeah. So a lot of these things, guys, you can't necessarily learn in a book. Like I said, I'll keep referring to the title of the live. Um, you have to have these skills, these communication skills. It really goes back to that, right? If you develop your communication skills with someone you hire on, and you have good communication skills where they can come to you without fear of being reprimanded, severely, or all that, maybe it'll work out more in the delegation side, right? They won't be afraid to come to you with a problem instead of trying to guess on the problem and turning out a bad product for you, right? So it's about being able to communicate with them, and having a protocol for that, right? You don't maybe in the beginning you have to be kind of like a helicopter parent over their shoulders. Maybe you have to do that in the beginning, right? And some people won't like that, but maybe you have to do that. And then once you see that they're up to speed, that they can handle the job, then you kind of let them do their thing, right? Right. So I get it, Claudette. It can be frustrating. It can be frustrating when you built this. This is your baby, right? You built it, right? You don't want anybody, somebody coming there and it make you look bad in front of your customers or something like that. So I totally understand. Right. So that's why they have hiring protocols and they have quality control protocols and all these things that come with having a bunch of employees or workers or someone like that. So yeah. All right. So let's see what other skills that you need to have. Yeah. As far as the students go, um, one thing I can say is that they do have an attitude of being being coachable, right? They come in there and they they want to learn, right? And that's the first step is putting your pride aside and saying, okay, I'm going to learn this, right? And and being humble enough to take reproof or instruction, right? Because you don't know everything, and some guys come in there with or girls they come in there with welding experience already, right? But they understand that they don't know everything, right? Or they just may need a certification. They just come there to be certified, right? They don't have a certification. One guy, he came there. I interviewed one student, uh, and he said, I asked him, okay, so why do you want to weld? Why are you here? And he said that he's here because he's training one of the students that came up from a previous class on his job, and that is getting paid more than him because he because he was certified. The student was certified and he was not. So that was kind of funny, right? The guy that he's training a guy that's getting paid more than him, and that's why he's in the class. So that's being humble and realizing, hey, you know, uh, I need to go get this skill. I need to go get this certification in order for me to compete financially with this student, right? Who's been welding I've been welding way longer than this guy, and this guy's coming out of here with a he's coming out here with a certification. He's getting paid more than me. This is ridiculous. You got, hey, I could respect the guy that he told me that, right? It was kind of funny, but this happens all the time. This happens all the time. Very good life note says, I have worked with professionals that pass the test and are licensed, and your expectation is they can perform as licensed. So you put benchmarks and verifications in place. Ah, okay. That sounds about right. That sounds like a protocol. Hmm. Says it can be expensive if that person in my line of work makes a mistake, up to 100K in penalties. Huh. Yeah. Yeah. I hear you. I hear you. Now that's one case, Perigo Life Notes, where you definitely want to be careful about who you hire, right, to do work for you, right? Because if that much is at stake, you know, that kind of money is at stake from somebody making a mistake, some person you hired to do something, then yeah, I totally get it, right? I totally get it. That would make you say, hey, I'm going to do it myself. I don't need this, especially if you had to pay that, before, right? Claudette, thank you. Yeah, you're welcome, Claudette. Absolutely. Yeah. So another good thing, which is, hey, this is universal, right? We should all have this listening skills, right? How many of us listen? And hey, I'll be the first one to say sometimes people that are close to me or whatever, they're talking to me and my mind's it's gone. And then they don't know that, but I come back to myself and I say, damn, they were talking to me and I didn't even I didn't hear half the conversation. I got, it's not a good feeling, right? Especially with somebody that's sharing something with you that's close to you, right? So yeah, learning how to develop listening skills. That's like one of the best things you can do, right? You don't want to open your mouth and reveal who you are, reveal how ignorant you are. Just stay quiet and be ignorant in silence, and then learn taking that information, right? So yeah, learning how to listen is one of the skills that it's an invaluable skill. Because sometimes, to be honest, sometimes people, most of the time, I would say people, they just want to be heard. They just want to vent. They want to talk about their day. They want to talk about this and that. And if you know how to listen, that's like, it means a lot to the person that's venting, right? So yeah, listening skills, whether you're in the classroom, whether you're in the uh, uh, say if you're in the back learning the technical side of things, like say welding or whatever, learning how to listen. Uh, hey, you might learn how to listen to the welder to see if it sounds right or this or that. Learn just develop those listening skills, whether it's people, whether it's machines. It will serve you. It will serve you for the rest of your life. Time management, guys. Time management. Okay, we kind of touched on time management, um, and that's what a structured environment provides, right? Like you come to class at a certain time, you go to in the you have the classroom session for a certain amount of time, and then you go in the back and you weld for a certain amount of time. Then you take your lunch break. This, that, and the other. Typical uh, something that you may have on a job situation, right? But if you have your own business, you know, it's you have nobody's looking down your shoulder but you. You're responsible for your own time management. Okay, so it may be a little harder. It's more freeing that you don't have anybody. You don't have to wake up at a certain time or whatever. But the flip side to that is that if you don't have good time management skills, um, and you don't have the discipline to get up on time and take care of your business, then that could really hurt you, right? So it doesn't matter whether it's your business or it's a job. You have to have time management skills. I would say that having your own business is it's worse in the sense that there is nobody looking over your shoulder, right? So your developing time management skills can be harder for you, but it's actually more important for you because it's not a structured environment that you show up to. Okay, unless you make that structure yourself, which is hard for a lot of people. Okay, because you can't accomplish certain goals, certain benchmarks without some sort of time management protocol for yourself, right? All right, here's another one, guys. Problem solving skills. How good are you at creating, at not creating problems, but solving problems? And if you did create the problem, can you solve them? Can you solve it yourself? Do back in the shop when if if I mess something up, the first thing I'm going to do is figure out, can I fix this myself before I go running to somebody to help me? And if I can't, hey, I'll ask a question humbly, right? Put that ego aside and say, can you help me with this? But you'll be surprised how many things you can fix yourself if you just think about it, right? And if you just connect the dots, troubleshoot. Knowing how to troubleshoot things is like, man, you can't lose with that, right? Knowing how to troubleshoot a problem. Um, so yeah, problem solving, creative thinking, all invaluable tools that you can't learn in a book. All right. You can't learn the stuff in a book. You can read about it, but you can't learn it in a book. Um, it happens when you're actually in a situation that there are actual problems. Okay. And someone may say, well, yeah, what about a math problem? What about a word problem? Well, that's not necessarily creative thinking. Uh, Listening is imperative for learning, safety, and growth. Very good life notes. Yeah, absolutely. Listening is very important. Very, very important. Can't learn without listening. Leadership. Leadership. I got a couple more, guys, and I'm gonna let you go. Okay. Uh, Developing leadership skills. What is that anyway? What does that mean? Well, it's just at the end of the day, it's ability to lead yourself, right? It's ability to say, hey, it's not about my emotions or anything like that. It's about getting the job done. All right. There's a place for emotions. There's a place for all that. But at the end of the day, that doesn't rule, emotions don't rule the day. You do, right? You rule your emotions, right? If you go by your feelings, I don't feel like getting up. I don't feel like doing this. I don't feel like doing that. Then you can't, you can't say you're a leader. You don't have leadership skills. If you can't listen, then you don't have leadership skills. If you don't have time management, you don't have leadership skills. If you don't have people skills, interpersonal skills, communication skills, you can't listen to people and their grievances or their problems, not to be, not that you're going to have a sob fest or anything like that, but the ability to actually listen to someone who may actually have a legit problem, a legit issue, right? That, everybody you can't see what's going on in someone's life. I know people who've, kids today are just committing suicide, man. It's ridiculous. Um, what's causing that, right? So not to mention all this other stuff that goes on in society. You can't really tell by looking at a person what's going on inside. So the ability to listen to them, to watch them, to sense maybe, hey, maybe they need someone they can talk to. That's very important. It goes a long way, and it's showing that you're showing people that you care about them, right? Not you just you're just they're just a number to you to crank out a widget or something like that, right? You show people that you care, and people know that. People notice that, and so that's all part of being a leader, right? It's not about, oh, let's march forward and let's no. It means that you can listen, you can communicate, you can lead, you can have time management skills, problem solving skills, all that. Empathy for other people. Okay, not that you're going to let people walk all over you. That's not what I'm talking about here. But you do have empathy. You can empathize with their situation, right? Because at the end of the day, you may need them to empathize with you, right? So um, these are skills that you can't learn in a book, right? These are skills that will make you successful in life, at work, or in business. Okay, all right. So, guys, hopefully you got something from this. I know I rattle on and stuff like that, but I appreciate you coming in. Hopefully, there were some nuggets that I threw out there, especially you young people that are trying to find your way in the world, and trying to figure it out. These are things that will help you. Uh, 500%, right, in life. Okay, and I like to come on here and do a lot of this mindset stuff as well. It's not just about how to swing a hammer or anything like that. Even though Calibrate Tools and DIY, that's what we're all about. But at the end of the day, there's another side to us as people, uh, and these things I talked about tonight will help you on whatever job site, whatever trade that you're in, and whatever business that you start, you know, and you can't lose with them. Okay, so thanks for coming in. Very good life notes, Claudette McCoy. I appreciate you guys coming in and supporting me. And those of you who are watching that are not in the chat, and those of you on the replay, uh, those of you who watch this later, I appreciate you guys as well. So leave a comment. And by the way, don't forget to go to calibrate.com, support the channel. We got some good information on there for you. Sign up for the email list. We'll send you a lot of home improvement tips, things like that. We got some products on the site that are great, for you. So go check it out, and I'll see you guys next time.